Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before I get going with this video, I just want to take a moment to thank our friend Rhonda very much. Guys, I really appreciate your donations to our channel's PayPal account. As you know, there have been many changes here at YouTube. Many of my videos are getting flagged and many have to go through manual review. So several of my videos, well, lots of my videos are being demonetized. I'm not really sure what it is exactly that I'm saying that is being cited as offensive. I'm certainly going to do my best to comply with YouTube's rules and regulations, but with the steady increase in demonetization, your donations to the channel's PayPal account have become very important, so thank you. Since the beginning of the channel, you guys have so kindly, so generously shared your lives with me and emailed me, and I do receive a lot of emails, and though I am painfully behind on answering emails, I do try to read them. Now, with that said, those emails give me a tremendous amount of insight. This channel is driven solely by you guys. Absolutely. The comments you leave, the emails you send, and the questions you ask, it sends me off in different directions of research and exploration and really gets me sitting in a reflective place, looking at how I felt when those things were happening to me and trying to decipher what was actually happening. So guys, thank you so much for the emails, but the emails have also given me some insight into the similarities we've all experienced, and the emails often reflect trends, waves. For example, in any given week, I can receive an overwhelming amount of emails from survivors that are feeling suicidal. The next week, it can be a tremendous number of survivors that are being hoovered. And these trends have continued and continue to this day. And over the last 10 days, there's been a new trend, and I want to talk about that today. Every trend has been very sad. This one in itself really hit home with me because I do hope that, we all reach a point of total healing where we all find ourselves again, where we all become willing to take a chance on love and meet someone wonderful and have a really great partner that loves us, that we can love, someone that trusts us, that we can trust. And I like that concept, and I do hope that happens for me. And if it's something you want, I certainly want that for you too. But unfortunately, we've got some really great friends here at the channel who have been major contributors in the comment section, who have really been beacons of healing and moving on with their life in a really positive sort of way. And many of them did just that. They took a chance on love again, only to find themselves targets of narcissistic abuse once again. I do know of a few cases where survivors of narcissistic abuse did find really great partners. They got remarried, they started families, and have had very happy lives for 2, 5, 10 years, and are really glad they took that risk on love. But unfortunately, we've got a trend going right now where people that I would have suspected really knew what was going on, had a really strong foundation for healing, who really knew how to detect this, have found themselves re-victimized. Now, one of the things I'm going to say is, as we continue to change, as we continue to grow and educate ourselves, I do believe the narcissists are morphing with us. They're becoming more cunning, more difficult to detect. They're becoming slicker. And I do believe as we continue to grow and change, they too are following our path and becoming much, much more cunning. Narcissists are going to up the game. Well, we've got to up the game too, and we have to build a stronger resistance to them. Now, for those of you who have just shut down completely and said, you know what, it's not worth the risk, I'm not willing to ever date again, that's fine. I mean, that's your choice. And I will say right now, that would not even be a possibility for me. When I say I hope that one day I do meet a really nice person, well, I'm not seeing that in any near future. I am seeing that much more down the road, but a narcissist can come into your life in many forms. It doesn't have to be a love interest. It can be a friend. And certainly we all like the idea of having a nice friend. It can be a coworker, it can be a neighbor, it can be anyone. And I did videos recently with AJ Mahari, who has been absolutely terrorized in the building she lives in. So a narcissist can manifest in your life in many ways. So I do believe there are ways that we can protect ourselves, but I'm not talking exclusively about a potential love interest. I'm talking about anybody. First and foremost, always remember, if it seems too good to be true, well, that's a red flag. If it looks like shit, smells like shit, and tastes like shit, man, you shouldn't have that in your mouth. Spit that out. An empath is always going to have a heightened sense of intuition. So if something seems too good to be true, chances are it is. And when you see a red flag, you really have to pay attention to it, because we all know what happens when we ignore them. Now, of course, the way a narcissist ends up in our lives is they appeal to us, and quite often they appeal to us because they're very much like us. They can easily be mistaken for soulmate or, your best friend forever. And the way they appeal to us is they extract information from us and they mirror us. They create a fake self, a fake person. They put a mask on that is very familiar to us, very comforting to us, and really does feel a lot like they are the type of person we should have in our life, because maybe we've got shared interests, hobbies, we share common goals, we've got the same sense of morality or integrity. There are many ways that a narc can gain information from you, so they can create this fake self. Social media is certainly going to be one of those places. I'm not saying that everyone that sends you a friend's request is a narcissist, but if you do notice a new friend or someone who's been on your friends list for a while is all of a sudden liking every single comment you ever made, or liking every photo you've ever posted, making a lot of comments. If you notice a real increase in activity at your social media sites from a particular person, I would just see that as a bit of a red flag. The only way they can really create a false self that's going to be appealing to you is if they're like you, as if they have, common interests and common life goals. So a narcissist is certainly going to be asking you a lot of questions about yourself. And when you do inquire about them, they will often reply with another question about you. Another thing I have found over and over again is when I am being questioned from a narcissist, when I get that feeling like someone's trying to extract information from me, I often hear them replying with the same thing. For example, what sort of music do you like? Oh, I listen to old Fleetwood Mac. Oh, me too, me too. That sort of thing. So I would be very leery of that. Now, of course, you are going to meet people that have similarities. You are going to meet other people that like Fleetwood Mac's Rumor album. And that in itself is not a sign. But if that's happening with everything you say, that is definitely a red flag. Okay, so let's just stay on this musical thing for a moment. Now, of course, Trevor did ask me what type of music I listen to, and I do believe Fleetwood Mac's Rumors albums was one of the things I mentioned, and of course he did say, oh yeah, I love that too. Now, the first time I went to Trevor's house, he had a cabinet and he had his CDs there, and I'm going to tell you, every single one of them was either heavy metal, death metal, AC/DC, and I don't know why I didn't pay more attention to that. That brings me to my next point, and I think it's a very clear determining factor when you suspect you're dealing with a narcissist. Now, if a narcissist is saying, yes, me too, yes, I love that too, oh, that's my favorite kind of music too, there should be something about their lives that reflect that. I'm just going to tell you a quick story. Okay, I'm at Facebook one day, I get this friend's request, I check out this guy's profile. The guy is from downtown Toronto, where I grew up. He lives in a neighborhood very close to where I went to school. He's about my age, so I'm thinking, do I know this guy? Did I go to school with this guy? And I accept the friend's request. Now, of course, I'm living in Rock Glen at the time. I'm in my old heritage house, and I am extremely interested in organic gardening, seed saving, worm farming, and my lifestyle reflects those interests and hobbies. And this guy is asking me a lot of questions. And he's saying, me too, me too. Oh, I love worm farming. Oh, I love seed saving. So we're talking one day on Facebook Messenger, and of course it's live, so I can see into his environment, which is a downtown Toronto, extremely urban, high-rise apartment, and this guy's apartment is slick. I mean glass, chrome, just extremely slick, black, and metal, and it is one of those very, very modern interior decors. Now, of course, you guys have seen my house, and my home actually reflects my lifestyle and my interests. So after this guy tells me he's crazy about worm farming, he just loves organic gardening and all this stuff, I'm looking around this guy's apartment, not that I'm creeping him, but, the camera's on, and I see nothing that reflects the lifestyle he has described to me. And this was much more than a red flag. This was an absolute determining factor, because no matter what, your lifestyle, your home, the way you dress, the decorating choices you make, the furnishings you buy, all of these things are going to be reflective of who you are. And there was nothing about this guy's environment that in any way implied he was being honest with me. Okay, so I could see where maybe I would end up in an urban environment. There could be life events that cause me to live in a high-rise in downtown Toronto. Maybe I got a job offer there and I decided to take it. Maybe one of my children got sick and they had to be at Toronto Sick Children's Hospital for an extended period of time, and I was forced to live in that sort of urban environment, though it does not appeal to me in any way. It's actually the polar opposite of how I want to live. But if I did live in that type of environment, even for a short period of time, I would do something to make the environment comfortable to me. I would do something to make the environment reflective of my life, who I am, and what my interests are. For example, I would put herb gardens in the windows. I would put plants on the balcony. I would do something to replicate my life, who I am, what I want my life to be like. And I think any one of us would do this. And the fact that this guy lived in this super slick environment and there was nothing about his life that implied in any way he was interested in worm farming, that to me, done. Beyond a red flag. That to me was a very clear indicator. So if someone is extracting information from you, or you feel like they're asking a lot of questions, they are constantly replying with me too, me too. And as you get to know them, you realize there is nothing about their lifestyle that reflects any of this. I would say that would be an absolute deal breaker for me. For those of you who have recently been through this horrible experience, for those of you who did take a chance on love and found yourself right back in the clutches of a narcissist, all I can say to you is you must be an incredible human being if they just keep coming after you. There is a light in you so bright that these fiends, these absolute demon-possessed meat suits from hell, have become so determined to turn your light off. Well, I don't think it says anything bad or negative about you. I think it speaks volumes of your character and your very pure heart. And though I feel sad it happened to you, I think it speaks volumes of your character and what a wonderful person you are. I don't think that being targeted by a narcissist will ever say anything bad about you. It really does indicate to me that you've got a really bright light and they're trying to dim it. Guys, stay safe. Keep your eyes open. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you're having a great narc-free day.